This is your weekend market review for Saturday, January 7th, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max, GDXJ Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your weekend market review for Saturday, January 7th, 2023. Hopefully you're having an amazing week. Been a pretty damn good week in trading around positions and then taking cash, going into the jobs number, and then buying that dip. Congratulations. Happy for a lot of people. Got some nice emails, thank yous, and lots of good feedback. However, I do know a lot of people who are struggling too because they're doing what they always do. They look for the source of information from the person trying to take their money, meaning they read the news, the noose. They try to get the information from CNBC that's supposedly going to give them insights on how to win in trading, when the reality we know is what? The market's trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. And if you're watching CNBC and that's your, not even CNBC, the news, and you're trying to get information from the markets based on that, I warn people constantly, you got to be extremely careful. So we know the market's kind of softening. We know jobs numbers are softening a little bit, wages softening, everything. Next week, you got CPI on Thursday. You got consumer credit on Monday. Nothing crazy right now. The only thing next week, like I said, is Thursday, but be aware, okay? Be absolutely aware that what? The Stock Trader's Almanac. You got seasonality of bullishness going into next week. January effect. We've talked about this. If you're following the channel, you know what's going on. And also, I've said this, you have to pivot. People are like, oh, you change your mind, change stuff. Like, the evidence is changing. Next week is the start of earnings. You have the banks on Friday, Bank of America, BlackRock, Citigroup, Delta, JP Morgan, United Health, Wells Fargo. A lot of stuff. So, Taiwan Semi on Thursday as well. KB Home. Would not be surprised if we pop, chopped, and then we continue either up, sideways for a little bit, or what. It just really depends. When you go into earnings up, you can pull back. If you're pulling into earnings flat, you might be able to consolidate and go higher. Again, I'm trying to be thoughtful of how to keep this very clear and concise and easy. How do you know the market's peak, Dan? When sentiment turns extremely bullish. The market climbs the wall of worry. If you've never seen this before and you haven't traded during circumstances like such, you got to be red alert for this stuff, because I think the average person doesn't think about the markets from the market maker's perspective. And the best way to trap bears is to rip it higher and to induce all the bulls to go all in, put their money back in the market. That's what you're looking for. And people are like, what level is that going to be, Dan? Tell me. I wish I knew. I honestly wish I knew exactly what level that'll be. I don't know yet. I don't know. But if you have puts and are shorting right now, you have ignored all of the signs, all the red flags that of leadership in the market trying to drift higher. I don't know how many times I can say it. I don't. But a lot of people they don't see the market for what it is. They see it for what they want it to be. And again, pick and choose wisely what you pay attention to, what you listen to, what podcast you're listening to. Again, I don't listen to any of that crap. The market is giving me the insights. A lot of people love to follow someone else, but then guess what? When it comes down to making your own decisions, you can't. Because you said, oh, well, this guy at Morgan Stanley, or this guy at JP Morgan, or this broker said this, or Michael Scott. No, what's his name? Whatever. You gotta stop doing that crap. I'm telling you, just gotta stop. All right, if you want to become part of the Discord room, reach out. Again, I keep this pretty private, and I'm probably going to start kicking some more people out soon. It's just, I don't see that the value of posting and trying to continuously teach if there's not going to be, some people coming and going. Now, again, if you're coming and go, let me know. I don't mind that. But if you're in this list and you're a yellow name and you're not really involved much, you can follow on social media, like Twitter, where we post our plays constantly keeping people updated. Check out the Back to Basics videos. Again, if you want education, you want a free education, low tuition, here it is. I'll probably need to add more videos, but at 53 of them, let me know if that's not enough. I'm telling you, there's a lot going on. All right, let's get into it. Bitcoin, I've said this 1,000 times, dead money, sideways, chopping. This is a clear base, but what's the upside? All right, watch it. I mean, it's one of those things that you don't short a boring market at the lows, but it's just one of those things where maybe there's better trades out there. Nat gas, a lot of people are getting hungry for this, trying to get the bottom. I get it. I get it. What did we say? I mean, again, I'm giving Sonny, friend of the Discord room, total credit because he was like, I don't trust nat gas. What did it do? It bottomed early January, then took a nice run. Is it bottoming right now? It's feeling a lot like it could be because, man, straight line moves precede chop or a trend change, right? Like you can't just go straight down without a pop, just like when you can't go straight up and then you pull back. It's all relative to velocity and trapping and playing games. And at this point, I don't own nat gas. I'd rather play oil, XOP, or some oil service names because that to me seems safer than trying to mess with natural gas. Oil, what do we say? Back test the trend line. You're welcome. Said low to mid 70s. Really thought 74, 75. I mean, we went a little lower. Back tested the trend line at 72. Holding pattern, right? All right, let's get into the dollar. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I don't know why people are so obsessed with trying to get the dollar right now. I've said this over and over. The upside was probably the 200-day. Just don't really have that really strong conviction to play it. It's just going to chop out. What's going to push the dollar near term? I don't know. It just seems like it's a waste of mental capacity because if the dollar's acting okay, I mean, the market, just focus on market names. TLT, here you go. Bounced again. We talked about it. We need a little bit of getting the rates lower, TLT higher. The market would like that. Here we go. Remember, the market and TLT look very similar for the year. Both had crappy years. There you go. All right, nice bounce. Not surprised. Little softening in economic data. Gets people buying bonds. CPI next week. I mean, who really knows what the hell is going to happen with that? But in my opinion, in my personal opinion, it really doesn't matter. The market's going to play out however it plays out. And I still think the best way for the market makers to put people in the hurt locker, it's going to run it up first because everybody sold last year. Tax loss sold. Everyone gave up. I mean, look at all these names that just got absolutely beaten. The trash needs to float up. I say it all the time. The trash floats last. I don't see the trash floating up. I see actual leadership. Vixer, you're welcome. Said chop, leave it alone. People trying to buy UVXY, trying to buy. I'm telling you, it just doesn't seem right. And now people are like, oh, but you thought the market would pull back and rally rally and then it'd fail and the VIX would spike. Well, again, that's what we thought down here. You got that pop. I'm still under the impression that the market still has to go higher. There's just way too much bearish sentiment. Way too much fear. Way too much fear. Again, the recession that is coming next year. How deep, how bad? Don't know. But the market is, again, there's 12 months in the year. Like, people are pricing in the end of the world tomorrow. And again, I don't give a crap if Jim Cramer, Mike Wilson, any of these people that people talk about, like, you don't know. So just dig into the charts. You don't need to follow everybody. You just need to be able to game plan within your own head how to execute. And at this point, the VIX is just chopping around, and it could be choppy. Right? Choppy. Could be choppy. Again, here you go. Not until you had the chop in, what was it? Yeah, end of January. I mean, personally, under the assumption that this game is going to play out until people capitulate, go all in long, give up buying puts. Spy, you're welcome. Got hazed for a week saying, oh, the Bears are winning. I'm like, nah, they're not really, but okay, you don't know chop and you don't understand what's going on here. This felt accumulative. Here you go. Pops up, breaks out over the 384, 83.6, closes near the high of the day. Bears, you got what you deserve. And again, it's just the idea of not understanding the markets. Because again, shorting is not a long-term investment strategy, especially the market. Now, you can pick certain names. I get that. But you got to trade around the SPY. And anyone who just held puts like it was somehow winning without trading around the calls, I mean, not even calls, like the stock calls, whatever, Just felt obvious that we were building up. Building up because all of this bad data, and then China's reopening. I mean, again, bears are looking backwards, bulls are looking forward near term. Now, again, like how long? Again, I think the data is going to get better. If inflation tampers out just a little bit, the Feds are going to act like they're winning. We just need the media portray this stupid idea that they are actually executing things correctly. They're not. We know that. They're going to bumble the ball every time. QQQ, you're welcome if you bought this at the 260s. I mean, we talked about this morning. Holy crap. Let me talk about that again real quick. You know, at the open, you opened, and then you went right back down. It was like you could buy under 380. I mean, that was such an easy trade. QQQ, you're welcome. I mean, donations appreciated. I mean, that was easy money. Throw your boy a beer here if you are excited about just this year and going to get better at trading. I can guarantee you guys, like, again, as a group, as a whole, we're evidence-based. Like, we're not playing this game through the mindset of trying to outsmart the market or be omnipotent. Like, the information that we're looking for is always in the charts with the art. And the art being sentiment, the art being the understanding of traps, the art being the understanding that the market makers are trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Like, if that was some sort of, like, measurable, I mean, it would be easy. Nice QQQ, closes right back at the high of the ranges. What have we been saying? IWM just seems to be leading. When the market would be up 0.5%, it'd be up 1%. Well, here you go. All right, bears, you see this? This is leading up, not bearish, but whatever. Gold, hey, congratulations if you held this, if you're trading it. Again, we took our profit from here to here. I've said wait for pullbacks. If it keeps going high, I really don't have this. Now, again, people get FOMO. And you learn over time, FOMO is a no-no. Because if you don't get a pullback before you buy it, you don't realize that it could come right back to here. So if you're buying it up here, please, I mean, you're praying, and again, your odds are the more it runs, the more likely it's going to pull back. Just, come on. Keep it simple. Now, again, I like gold long term, but even every January, February move up that we've seen, I mean, again, this was more of a Ukraine thing. I would not be surprised at some point, a January pullback, and then I'll buy. If not, and it continues running higher, again, I've got physical. I've recommended folks buy physical for it seems like forever. And we love the monthly, you know. Oops, sorry, wrong button. We love the monthly. We know this is a big-ass cup and handle. Fill your cup. We're in the handle. Is it going to take off? Good question. Now, again, just don't chase. Be thoughtful. I mean, and here's the thing. Here's another. Like, if gold is ripping, people are like, oh, the market has to tank if gold's up. No, wrong. I don't know who taught you that. But gold and silver love to go up with the market during certain types of cycles and markets. Right? Think about from 2003 to 2008. Gold went nuts. Did the market go down then? No. Silver, holding the 20-day. Doesn't look that bad, but it's kind of lagging. Keep an eye on it. GDX, congratulations. Again, if you bought this and you held it and you keep holding it, I mean, that's great. We talked about the easy money from the 22 to 30. People are now talking about 100 and starting to get excited. 33 is probably the max upside. Again, I mean, if it goes up 50%, and if oil starts rising, I mean, these things struggle at times. I mean, these are some of the hardest trades out there. GDXJ looks, again, this is the one I want to own, junior miners. Broke out of this like little channel. I mean, I think you could fill the gap at 45. It got really nuts up here. I don't know near term. Again, but it's one of those things where I don't have to, and this is the thing. I mean, if I miss a move, I mean, we talked about buying it down there. I mean, you're welcome if you've been paying attention. If you bought this down at the 25s and it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Now you're back at the back test of the trend line in the 20-month. Does it have higher to go? Could. It's all about what happens in the markets, right? Like what keeps going. Like in the sense of momentum, right? If the market holds up, I don't see gold, junior, the miners, gold, silver, whatever, melting out. AG, this is where it's always been tricky, right? Like you would think the stock would be up at 10s and 11s. It's not. However, it looks like it's staging. If metals hold up, this thing could break out and get up, 2 points if you want. If you need your 2 points, you got your 2 points. AEM, holding up. getting a little tired here. I mean, probably watch the 20-day. I mean, you can just play this. I mean, again, if the trend is your friend, there it is. Newmont, touches the gap. Jay Solstice, I hope you gave. I think you posted something about this. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, you're getting into like filling this gap, and you're getting into what I would consider old support the resistance. I mean, this is where my old Fibonacci's. Like, is Newmont gonna get over the 200-day? Probably not. If you want to take a short in this, I get it. You're so close. Do we get it? I don't know. This thing is known to play games, so be aware. PAAS could be doing better. Could be doing. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I just wish they didn't do that Newmont gold deal, because that thing has sucked the life out of it. But could it get up to 19s? Yeah. But here's again. I relied to this. If you bought gold when we talked about it, and you took the easy money, and you feel like you have to jump back in because every story you read is gold's going to 10,000, that story has been around for about 20 years that gold's going to 10,000. I used to believe it like it was a fact. The problem is it's not. It's going to get there when it's going to get there, and it's not going to get there in a straight line move. I just promise you that. Trade around it. AM Dizzle, talked about it, holding the 60 level. Look at that. Gap down. Open down and rallied right back. Making higher lows. Things that aren't bearish, right? NVIDIA. I mean, if bears think that the world's about to slam, but it's not even, it's holding up. SMH, same thing. Like, if you shorted it, bought some socks, I mean, you closed your shorts today. You had to have closed your shorts today. Where does it get back to? I don't know. 200-day, I mean, at this point, the momentum is higher. Adobe talked about this high and tight, chopping the gaps and chopping after it gapped up, holding up. Apple, the fruit, thought this was going to turn into like applesauce. Talked about needing to hold the 125er. Sorry, let me zoom out. It clearly is. And today's candle engulfed the 2 down days. I mean, if it gets over 131, we're going right back to the 20-day. Again, I don't know if I want to trade tech. I mean, a lot of people get excited about it. I just, Amazon, nice. That is not a bearish candle, y'all. That is an outside reversal. That looks bullish. Not surprised it goes back to 92s. Again, all these things is like, how the hell are you watching this and buying puts and thinking it's a safe? CRM cuts 10% of the workforce. The stock gaps up, fills the gap, and then comes right back. Again, these stocks have been absolutely beaten. Let the trash rise. Guggenheim opens flat, wicks down, closes at the high of the day. Looks okay. Someone's like, hey, what do you think about shorting Meta? Aren't we at your zones? Yeah. But do I want to short it if I think the market's going to go higher? No, it's like pissing in the wind. I'm going to get it all over me. I'm not going to do that. Again, I mean, you could be the hero here, but it probably more like chops out. So if you want to short it, it just seems like you're pissing in the wind. I don't know the best way to say it without saying it. Microsoft gets a big downgrade. That wick could be a little tricky. See what happens. Again, I mean, all these names. NDAQ, come on up, my friend. I want to short this up in the mid-60s. Again, everyone's like, oh, the market's going to roll over. A lot of this stuff is holding. Even crappy tech. Look at MicroStrategy. It has a base. Doesn't look that terrible. Netflix, someone on the live today is like, oh, I want to short it. I'm like, you don't want to short it. No, this is acting well. Holding base, probably going back up to the range highs. Roblox. Do they have information today? It's still held over the 20-day. This thing's a beast. It's going to have a couple days where it could potentially go sideways or do whatever it's going to do. Again, have your stops. We talked about trading around this. Nobody listens. Tesla. Got enough shares to care, but enough to not care. Look at this action. Opens at the lows, closes at the high, decent volume. And again, I'm not saying go buy Tesla and hold it for 7 years, but maybe it has a 7-day move. Maybe it's a rally. The trash floats. It could just do this. It could do that. This stock is going into the permanent penalty box. But again, if Tesla rallies, is the market going to dump? It's just amazing to me. People, I mean, literally are buying puts and shorting and did look at this information and go, yep, time to short. Absolutely. Nucor. Steel names, holding the 200-day. This stuff, again, not even close to the lows. Building a base to go higher. Sorry, U.S. Steel. Nucor. Double bottom. Zing. Coming right back. Things that aren't bearish. VALE. Holding high and tight and then makes another high. What the? I've told you guys, emerging markets, Germany, China, like all this stuff. Those charts look good. Copper. Good old arrow. Look at that gap and pop. I usually don't talk about Southern Copper, but I posted it. I'm like, this is not what bears. What are you looking at? Copper is going, I mean, this stock is ripping. It's not because the market's bearish. Freeport McMoran, same thing. Breaking out. MP, someone was talking about buying it at 25 the other day. Look at that. Bink. I mean, again, if you own puts, what are you doing? What, I mean, you're like got your head up your ass thinking your own put. Like, there's leadership. Look at CCJ. Now, again, it could be just a few days. New money. But look at this. CF bottomed at 80. Added a little today. I mean, this thing looks like it's about to fucking cook bears. Oh, it didn't happen today. Okay. Well, Mosaic, we bought some of that if you did at 42, 43 level. Look at that. Over the 20-day, closed the high of the day. NTR, same thing. I put an alert out. 71, 72. Congratulations. Zinger. Things that don't look bearish. Alcoa, you're welcome. This one a little tricky. Closing at the high. Again, but is this thing look like it's going to roll over? No. I mean, just amazed how many people are like, it's time to buy puts. And I'm like, I don't know how you look at the charts and go, yeah, things look terrible. XLF, we've said this for what seems like 3 weeks. Look at this shit. Making higher highs off the lows. Yet, this is somehow bearish. What planet are you on? Again, I'm trying to accentuate the obvious here. But it's just like what? I mean, I'm like talking to a bunch of like degenerate gamblers who, I don't know who you listen to. Listen to the charts. Like, when the market's chopping and the financials are building, it's not bearish. Morgan Stanley even finally started popping off 85, making higher lows. We talked about this. JP Morgan has been freaking flying back to the highs. Things that aren't bearish. XBI, we talked about this. I mean, so much of this. It would be down here and breaking, but no, it just seems to be holding up. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Like, it's just crazy. Like, who is it? Gallig? I mean, he's posting in the room like, oh, bearish this, that. I'm like, how are you missing this shit? Are you watching? He's in the Discord room. Are you watching the recaps? Because I'm not painting these charts. They're painting themselves. Solaire. Look at that. It opens up. Oh, gaps down. Close at the lows. Gaps up and engulfs right back up. Pieces. What a joke. ENPH. This one's interesting because now it's hitting levels. If you want to pull the trigger on this, I mean, it could fill the gap, but man, that looks interesting for a bounce. Sedgerton, up 5 points. I mean, hits the lows, retest. I mean, I warn folks, please do not short First Solar. Zinc, right back up. Right up your, you know what? Say this stuff for a reason. HYG, we talked about corporate debt not rolling over. If the market and the economy are rolling over, this should be hitting the floor. It's not. Yet people are still buying puts and holding puts. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How do you not see this? Because I am bearish, but I'm not ignoring the evidence. It's just, again, I think you have to learn that you just do what the market's doing or you just get cooked. Oil. Said you could watch it down here in the 64, 65, opens up, chops around, makes a higher high, higher low, doesn't look amazing. UNG, please leave this alone or just layer into it and don't expect a ton. I mean, this thing is busted. The XOP, this is, I think, the safest play. I talked about it buying down here. Nice little gap up. Couldn't get over the 8-day. That's all right. And it goes from 126 up to 133. I mean, can it take a break? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Oh, but what's going to happen the next hour, the next day, the next minute? I don't know. ExxonMobil, again, things that aren't bearish, like this, holding up, market's hitting lows. No. Oxy, no. Holding, gets over the 200-day, it's going to go. PXD, you're welcome. You're welcome if you bought it down here. Again, I didn't, I know some people, I mean, welcome, like, people talked about it. Nice gap up. let me just end it. I mean, these are things that I want people to look at. Okay? Boeing. This is not market bearish when it's doing that. Right? EEM, emerging markets. Ripping to new highs. Not bearish. Again, I'm not sure what planet people are. FXI, gapping up, making new highs. Not bearish. Oh, but what levels do I need to short? It's like, don't even think about shorting. Even Germany's taking out the highs. I'm here to help you guys, but I really can't make you see what you can't or nor want to see. I mean, again, as much as I wanted, like, go short, all in, balls deep, short the crap out of it, I'm fighting the market. And I want people to take some time this weekend to think about, like, how is the market going to play out if this is all building to go up near term? If you got shorts or puts, even if you have time, you can't allow positions to go against you. You have to minimize your losses. And it has the same thing to do with puts as well. Like, you got to do it. You can't just let it go. Look, the IYT transports, like, that's a big green rip bear's balls. I don't know what to say. I appreciate everybody. Again, please take time to review the charts. If it's not obvious, then maybe it's not doing anything. But on the dip today, I mean, we did the live chat, screamed at people, please check out the market for a buy. Again, I would think that there'd be hundreds and thousands of dollars of donations coming in because people saw it that obviously. And it's like, I don't know how else to get. There's like 5 people, I'd say 5 to 10 people that are just absolutely murdering this. And it's because they follow us. Again, they have tight stops. And when things are working and they follow the evidence, it's very obvious they're making coin. Because, I mean, again, I have times where I'm not making money, but then when it's time and capitalized, absolutely. Like this week made all of December almost irrelevant. Anyway, all right. Well, again, think about real estate. If rates go down, you're going to find that nice middle. I'm here to help. I can't help people unless they're willing to be vulnerable, and I can't help people who don't want to be helped. And it's okay. But if you're in the Discord room and you are not doing well, or you're struggling, or some of this doesn't make sense, read the books, watch the videos, ask questions. If you ask a dumb question, the worst thing I'm going to say is the answer is here. The answer is there. No harm, no foul. More than likely, if I know that you've been quiet and struggling, man, I'm here for you. I mean, I love to help people in this because I think of it as like a parent who wants to help out their friend, not a parent, like their friends want to help out their friends. Like, I want to help people understand sometimes how hard this can be, but also how the market is totally mental. Like, some people just can't pull the trigger right now because they've been losing. Well, guess what? What's the best way to get out of a trade if you've been losing? Or like out of a funk? To be patient, look for the obvious stuff, have stops, reinforce your disciplines. I'm telling you, come right back out of a hole very quickly. But if you don't try to change or you try to learn, you're doomed to make that same mistake. Please don't. I don't want people to make the same mistakes over and over. I've lost so much money. I've had so many ups and downs that it's just not worth it anymore for me to like even not even just explain to it. Like, come on, like this is what it is. A lot of this is either mental, and sometimes it's not mental. You say, are you trading well? And are you trading well means, are you going with the market? Are you understanding what the market makers are trying to do? Do you know the formation? Do you know the seasonality? Do you know what's going on? Sentiment, all these things, like the art of trading as well. All right, here to help. Be thoughtful. Have a good weekend. I'm telling you, dig in deep. If you're spending hours a week studying, play guess the next candle game. Don't go watch a bunch of stupid YouTubers who are predicting the markets based on nothing but the charts. Okay? Like, again, if we want to talk about fundamentals and what we think is going to happen, it's going to show up in the charts. It always does. Here for y'all. Again, sentiment. How do you know the top is in? When everyone's bullish, the bears give up, and there's just, you get that euphoria again. Get that greed in the market. All right. Sad to say, I just know some people are struggling or giving up on themselves, and again, they're trying to make all their money back in one trade, and so when they get in a hole, they bet bigger. Remember we talked about, like, this is like blackjack. When the dealer's hot, you step away from the table or you minimize your bet. All right. I will talk to you guys and gals later. Please hit me up. I'm here to help.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.